top 10 in terms of favorites are the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. And you see them down there. They're both 25-1. So let's stick with the Nuggets here because restricted free agent Spencer Jones agreed to a 2-year, $12 million offer sheet with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then the Nuggets, they had the opportunity to match OKC's offer, and they did so. They retained their homegrown player, who they landed on an undrafted deal. Shams Charania first reported all of this. Now, the financial impact for Denver here is significant, right? They move into that dreaded the second apron, right? They face a $68 million tax penalty, and that penalty will go up at least $112 million with the qualifying offer to Peyton Watson, who remains unsigned for now. Now, the Nuggets, they're the only team in the second apron. And team president Josh Kroenke, he spoke last summer about being in this situation. Here's what he had to say.
Going into that second apron is not necessarily something that we're scared of. I think that there are rules around it that we needed to be very careful of with our injury history. The wrong person gets injured, and very quickly you're into a scenario where that I never want to have to contemplate, and that's trade number 15. And so, we're very conscious of that pushing forward and, providing the resources that we can when the moment arrives. But that second apron, is it a hard cap? I'm not 100% sure, but it's something that teams are obviously very aware of going forward.
Okay, so they're not in the situation of needing to trade number 15, Nikola Jokic, yet. Our front office insider, Bobby Marks, joins us. Bobby, it's like anytime we say the second apron on the show, it's just poof, you appear. Can you lay out what the Nuggets exactly are facing right now that they are in that second apron?
Well, you laid it out. Certainly there's a financial element as you laid it out. They're at $68 million in luxury tax penalties. Remember, they've only spent $51 million as a franchise in their history, and that's since 2002 here. And that number would increase to 112 if Peyton Watson signed that qualifying offer. I think the most important thing as far as being in the second apron is that if they wanted to entertain a sign-and trade with Peyton Watson, they're not allowed to if the salary coming back leaves them over the second apron. Here's the other thing too, Malik. This is an organization that has zero tradable first. If they remain in the second apron this season, that 2034 first now becomes frozen. They would not be able to move that in a deal. So there's certainly some financial ramifications, certainly budget-wise. And then, of course, as you said, the second apron is dreaded. They're the only team in it right now. Oklahoma City got out about a couple weeks ago there.
That dreaded second apron is 100% impacting the Denver Nuggets and their conversations with restricted free agent Peyton Watson, because they have not been able to land an agreement on a deal. And that's why Peyton Watson and his reps have been seeking out potential sign and trade opportunities. And that's where the Bucks, the Hawks, the Clippers, they've all emerged as leading suitors, I'm told, for Peyton Watson. But in a potential sign and trade, the Nuggets initially had set a price this offseason of similar to the Walker Kessler deal of 2 firsts and 2 swaps in any potential deal. Now that price, my understanding, is a really good high-level player as well as a first-round pick. So we'll see between now and obviously the deadline for any type of restricted deals, as we saw with Jonathan Kuminga last summer, was basically up until training camp. So we have about a month and a half before that period starts to come around.
So, Vinny, if you're Nikola Jokic and you're hearing everything that Shams and Bobby just said, and that you're looking at the ability or inability maybe to re-sign some of your roster that already, frankly, wasn't good enough in the Western Conference, we know that Nikola Jokic has said he wants to be a Denver Nugget for life. But how are you seeing this if you're Nikola?
I'm looking across the way to the Milwaukee Bucks and what they went through with Giannis Antetokounmpo after they won a championship. In trying to keep that core together, they become more expensive. You become more expensive because the NBA salary structure says as you get older, you take on more of a percentage of the cap.
Right.
Nobody's taking less by and large as you get older, as you get towards the end of your career. Fewer resources, fewer playoff wins. This is the dreaded sort of, not just the second apron, but the parity era that we're in the NBA. And the Nuggets have not been a part of the championship conversation for the past couple of years. He has to be looking at his future with this franchise and looking at the landscape of the West, with San Antonio and Oklahoma City being steps ahead of everybody else.
Brian, this is sort of the natural lifeline. This is the natural course that we see championship teams so often make, because you have said this before, there's only one thing harder than building a championship team, right?
Yeah, it's keeping the second hardest thing is to keep the championship window open. That's why we're seeing the Thunder trade off players That's why we saw the Celtics take their team down. That's why we saw the Bucks fail apart. And let me just say the 3 letters, KSE. If you know, you know. That is Kroenke Sports and Entertainment. The Kroenke family is one of the most successful sports families in the history of the planet. They have won championships with all of their teams. Just in the last 5 years, the Rams, Nuggets, Avalanche, and Arsenal have all won championships. And they do it by having incredible financial discipline. Stan Kroenke his father-in-law was Sam Walton of Walmart. He was taught financial discipline by his father-in-law. It is the guiding principle. You do not pay $70 million in tax under the Sam Walton way. And so the league is waiting to see what the Nuggets do with their expenses here, because paying this money is not who they are. It's not who Stan Kroenke, it's not who Josh Kroenke is. And so the question is, when they cut salary, is it going to leave a bruise like it has with the Thunder, or is it going to leave a gaping wound? And if I was Nikola Jokic, that's what I'd be very closely watching.
Right, because Nikola Jokic right now, he has an extension that he could sign for 4 years, $278 million. But if he waits to sign next summer, he would be eligible for 5 years, $360 million. And Josh Kroenke and the entire Nuggets organization know that that's the ecosystem in which they are working with. Let's stick with Nikola Jokic and my favorite subject, horses, because Nikola Jokic's star horse won the most prestigious race in Serbia for the second straight year. Look at this. Jokic looks, thrilled again.
Looks a little sped up there, Malika.
He looks thrilled. And I know we do this every time, but he's said it before. It's really, really, really hard to win a horse race in Serbia. And it's hard to win an NBA championship, but the pure unbridled joy that he gets.
Is this how you celebrate, Malika?
Yeah.
When your horse races?
Every time I don't fall off, that is me with the celebration. Although after you pop the champagne, you shouldn't.
How many years is the horse under contract?
Don't get back behind.
Breaking news, Jaylen Brown is officially a Sixer. The former Finals MVP was formally introduced by Philadelphia within the last half hour, where he addressed the media for the first time. Take a listen. He had some interesting comments on how things went down in Boston.
What bothered you about how this all transpired? The whole process. But to be honest, my mind is so focused on what's in front of me. To be honest, I'm moving on. Maybe one day you share the details of kind of how everything transpired and all the moving parts that took place in this. Obviously, it's a lot of speculation. I feel no need to chime in on it because I'm focused on what's in front of me.
Jaylen, how would you characterize your relationship with Jason over the last year, Jason Tatum? And is that a partnership you both wanted to continue before the trade?
We won a championship together. So anybody that you win a championship, you would think like that's what, a brotherhood or a lifelong legacy would entail. Obviously, there's ups and downs in any type of relationship for sure, but on my end, there's nothing but respect. Besides when he plays the Sixers, I hope he does well. But other than that, everything for me is just based in respect.
Have you guys been able to talk?
Not really.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Vanessa Richardson in for Malika Andrews. We've got Kendrick Perkins. We've got Anthony Slater and King McClure. Perk, let's start with you. We've had so many questions about how all of this ended with the Celtics. What's your reaction to hearing Jaylen Brown say he has yet to speak to Jason Tatum?
Duh. Like, is anybody shocked? Anybody shocked? Like, everyone knew that they wasn't the best of friends, that they didn't hang out outside the basketball life.